So, hey, everybody, I'm Mike Sullivan with Born to Shine. We have a super special guest with us today. His name is Eric Bonniksen, and he's the superintendent of Placerville School District in Placerville, California. And Eric, thanks, man, for being with us today.
Oh, I'm glad you invited me, Mike. Thanks a lot.
Absolutely. This is going to be fun. So, for our listeners, they're chomping at the bit to hear what you think. And with all of your experience, I think it's 9 years, right? You were started.
I've been here in Placerville. I just finished up our 9th year. Yeah.
That's awesome. Congratulations. That's
Thank
super
you.
cool. So you've been around kids for a long time and you know what's going on in their world. So we're really excited to hear your thoughts, your experience, your wisdom. And the first question is, how important is it to your school district that your students learn really, really solid mental health skills?
It's vital. It's vital. I mean, I think for students to be as successful as they can be on the academic side of schooling and of life in general, those mental health, those social emotional skills that they need to be in place first before we can focus on the academics, or before kids can even be successful academically. Those social emotional skills are vital for them to be successful. I mean, they need to have those ability to kind of understand themselves a little bit, understand the feelings that they have, be able to have relationships and build relationships with other people. They need to feel supported. They need to feel cared about. They need to feel loved. They need to be in a safe place.
Right.
And so if that's there, then the other side of what schools are all about, the academics and the learning, that happens much more easily when those social emotional skills are there.
Absolutely. No, I'm so glad that you feel that way. And what are some of the programs that your district has or is bringing in even outside of school to give your kids extra support?
Well, we've been fortunate, I think, within our district. This has kind of been a focus for a number of years for us. It's something that we felt was extremely important for our students.
Awesome.
And so we're a small district. We have 3 schools. We have 2 elementary schools and 1 middle school. But we have full-time counselors at all 3 of our schools. And that we brought those in starting about 5 years ago.
Awesome.
And then build the program from there, because we saw that need, we saw that hole in what we were trying to provide, and then we've built, like I said, we've built from there. We have some social emotional programs that we actually teach within the classroom itself. We use a program called Second Step, which has an academic base to it, but then also is teaching those life skills that students need. And then we also partner with some other groups. There's a group that we use, Community Matters, that brings in some approaches at our middle school, Safe Schools Ambassadors, those kind of things, to help build that community, build that connectiveness that kids need to have to a school site, so that they feel like I said earlier, they feel safe. They feel like this is a place that they can be.
Yeah. Safe, loved, taken care of, nurtured,
Exactly.
supported. Yeah.
All of those things, everything you just said, that has to be there. That's so important for kids. That's so important for, it's important for all of us.
Yeah.
If we want to thrive in our work, in our relationships outside of work, we have to feel safe. We have to feel connected. We have to have some type of relationship. All of us need that for us to be successful.
Absolutely.
Kids need it too.
Yeah, totally.
For them to be successful, they need all of that.
I'm so glad you said that, Eric, because that is so incredibly important, that not only do our kids need all the support and the sense of safety and a sense of involvement and connectedness and love, but the teachers, the staff, adults, we all need that. We all thrive on that. That's when we can really, really be our best selves. So
no doubt.
Yeah, no age limit. So, um, and then what have you found that's working really, really well? And because it's cool, you're doing a lot internally and you have some external come in to
Mhm.
even boost it up and turbo boost things and just,
Yeah.
supplement what you're already doing incredibly well. But what have you found that's working really well? And what are some of the things that you were maybe a little surprised that weren't working?
Sure. Well, I think the one thing that I think is working really well and is a central point in anything that we try to do in this realm is build those connections.
Mm,
Having an adult connection with a kid. Every kid on campus needs to be connected with some adult there. If
yeah.
they have that connection, then if there's issues that are coming up, if they're struggling with something, whatever it might be, they have somebody that they can go to. They have somebody that they already have formed some type of a relationship with that they feel comfortable going to and talking with.
That's
It could
awesome.
be the counselor, but it doesn't have to be the counselor.
Right.
It can be their classroom teacher, it can be the principal, it could be the superintendent, it could
Right.
be the custodian,
Yeah. Yeah.
somebody on campus that they have that connection with. That I think is so important.
Absolutely.
To have somebody there that they can reach out to, that they feel comfortable with, to be able to just share, somebody
Yeah.
they can talk to if they're just having a bad day,
Yep.
or on the other end, if they're having a great day and they
Yeah.
want to share what happened,
Yeah. Yeah.
they
Yeah. That's
have
good.
that person. I think that is so important.
Yeah.
Some kids, that connection's easy to make. They're involved in activities or sports or music or whatever it might be, and that connection kind of is naturally happens.
Right.
And then there's students out there that it doesn't quite happen as naturally. And then so that means we as adults need to make sure that we're reaching out, that we're building that connection with them so that they start to feel that this is a place that they want to be.
What are some of the ways that you guys do that? Because I'm sure if there's other superintendents or teachers are they're wondering, well, how does Eric do that? That's really cool. What are some of the ways that you foster for the kids that it isn't so natural, that aren't in the
Mhm.
extracurricular activities or sports, or are there certain tips you have to
Well,
foster that?
part of it is you have conversations about it.
Yeah.
As a staff, you sit down and you have those conversations. Who do you have connections with?
Mm,
What kids do you interact with on a regular basis? And if there's kids' names that you're not hearing, okay, that tells you,
that's
okay,
yeah.
we need to focus in here a little bit.
Got it.
And then you also reach out to the kids. I
Yeah.
mean, the other thing is that I think is really important that we do, and we're going to even enhance moving into this next year, is we do a weekly check. How are you guys doing? What's going on? How are you feeling? And so we check in weekly with them,
Cool.
so that they know this isn't just a one-time thing. This isn't just a one-time program. This is something we truly do care.
That's
We
awesome.
care, and we want to know how you're doing. And if you're not doing so well this week, well, let's what can we do? What needs to be done to help?
That's incredible, man.
Yeah.
I wish I went to your school when I was a kid, Eric. That's we didn't have that. That's now, is that a phone call or email or both, or how do you reach out when you check in
Well,
with kids?
for us, I mean, it's pretty low tech, honestly. It's a little form they fill out.
Cool.
Now this last year, when some of the time when they weren't on the school campus, it was done more through like a Google form or something like that we
Yeah.
would we would email back and forth. But typically it's just a form they fill out
Nice.
in their homeroom class or at the middle school or their regular classroom there at the elementary level.
What's nice
Um,
about that too is they
and then
probably feel comfortable because no one else is looking at it. It's pretty private, right? They're writing
it is.
exactly what they're going through, and then an adult gets to read it.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
kind of cool.
And I'll tell you though, that little check-in, simple as it is, that's something that our counselors put together and said we need to make sure we're touching these kids. We're reaching out to them. And so they put that together, and it's been huge. It's been very beneficial to get really a pulse of what's going on with the students.
Yeah. Good for doing that, man. That's awesome. And then what would you like to see more of at your school? Just to help continue to set your students up for success later in life. What are just some of the just something extra?
Well, I think the more that we can do, and I talked about this earlier, but the more we can connect kids to the school.
Mm.
If there are things that they're interested in, if they're, I mean, it could be, it could be anywhere from I really love taking videos and making videos and editing and that kind of stuff,
Mm.
or I love to play Pokemon, or well, I mean, whatever it might be. I collect sports cards. What are you interested in? Let's pull some people together. Let's do some things that have common interests. Connect you to the school, connect you to this place, so that again, you feel comfortable. As students, you feel comfortable. This is a place you want to be.
Yeah.
And you feel safe.
Yeah, that's awesome. No,
And so that
you know,
I think the more we can do that, and we've done some, but we need to do more of it.
yeah,
We need to reach out even more and make them feel like, this is one big family here.
yeah.
We are all here together. We spend, 7 hours a day here on this campus together. We want to make sure that everybody here feels comfortable, feels safe, and is able to thrive.
Man, I'm telling you, I don't know what it is. I feel that from you. You're like the big Papa Bear, keeping everybody safe. So I get that energy from you and that feel, and it's that's incredible that that's the place you're coming from to run your school district, and that definitely comes through in everything you're saying, and that what a great place for kids to be, and that
It's a
must
good place. I got to
parents
tell you,
feel good.
this is great. But we have amazing people here. We've the staff and the teachers, the staff, the administration in this district, top notch. I mean,
That's awesome.
they are phenomenal. And again, it goes back to you foster those relationships with the staff, with the people that you work with. You continue to work on those relationships, and then it trickles down.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that too, because my mom was a teacher, and oftentimes teachers don't get the accolades that they deserve. So I'm really appreciating you saying that about your staff, your teachers, and everybody, that they're
Yeah.
just rock stars. That's so cool. And if there was, and I this we have two questions left, and I'm so curious what you would think, or what you, Eric, would suggest, or how to kind of frame the conversation if you were talking to another superintendent at a different district, and if they were to say, our kids are fine, they don't have any anxiety, they don't have any depression, they're doing great, we have a one counselor in school and everything's under control. How would you navigate your way through that conversation?
Well, I would start with moving into this next year. This last year has been traumatic. It has been traumatic, very traumatic for kids, and what they've had to deal with, and just all sense of normalcy disappearing. And so 2 years ago, that might have been the case. Now, I don't know.
Yeah.
And so you need to get to know your kids. You need to get to know them at maybe a little bit deeper level than just watching them walk down the hallways and that type of thing. You need to understand them, where they're coming from, and use the personnel you have to get to know them better.
Yeah.
The counselor, if you have a counselor on staff, that's phenomenal. Not all schools even have that.
Right.
And
Right.
so if you have that, you're a big step ahead of the game, but that can't be the only thing that you do, because this is a bigger picture, and it's bigger than what one person can handle.
Right. Absolutely.
And so we need to all be on the same page, all working in the same direction, because like I said, we want our kids to thrive.
Yeah.
We want them to be the very best they possibly can be.
Yep.
And so we've got to make sure that we provide all of those services so that they're able to.
Yeah.
And that's the social emotional side of it, as well as the academic side. We have to be there to hold them up so that they can thrive.
You kind of just answered the next question. That's so perfect. It's cool. I was listening and I thought, man, he's weaving these two together. This is incredible. It was, if you had any parting words for anyone else that's listening, for other superintendents like yourself that make decisions to bring in outside, external, additional support. Like you just said, one person isn't enough. Even if you have the best counselor in the world, it's just not enough manpower
Yeah.
for an entire school. So, what advice or thoughts would you have for another school district like yours to help continue to support their students? And what advice would you have for teachers or students that may be struggling silently, which is often the case with anxiety and depression? What advice would you
Mhm.
have for them?
Well, let me start with the second part of that question first. For those that are struggling, find somebody you trust. Find somebody you trust. Find somebody that you're willing to talk to. And like I said, it could be anybody. If it's somebody on campus, and it's the person that's working in the cafeteria, it's the yard duty, it's the principal. Find somebody you trust that you're willing to share, because
Right,
if you're hurting inside, that hurt isn't going to go away until you're able to share and sometimes get the help that you need.
right,
And so find that person you trust, and if somebody's coming to you to try to build that relationship, be open to it.
right.
Be
Okay,
open
got it.
to it.
Find someone. Number one, find someone you trust.
Yeah,
And then what if that's for the student? What if it's staff? Because
it's the
that's in
same thing.
same thing. Just
It really is the same
find
thing.
someone.
Find somebody you can trust. And then the other thing with students and staff, but especially on the staff side of it,
Yeah,
knowing that this last year has been a hard year. It has been a very hard year in education. Um, Focus on those positive things. There are so many amazing things that have taken place this last year that I've been able to witness and see, just great teachers doing great things. And sometimes when you're in the middle of it, you don't see it.
right.
And so take a minute to step back and honor those good things that took place. Honor those great things that you were able to do. And let yourself feel good about it.
Yeah,
I mean, that's an okay thing to do. It's okay to feel good and feel proud of what you've been able to accomplish.
absolutely,
I think that's huge. And
absolutely.
then if you're able to share with people, that's just that next step. That's the next place to go.
That's incredible. Well, everyone, Eric Bonniksen, thank you so much for being with us. That was incredible. I think I learned a lot, and I know our listeners definitely will get a lot out of this. So really, thank you for being a part of this, Eric. It means a lot to me and our listeners. And thank you for what you do, and for your students, and for your district, and for your staff. And thanks for providing a safe, um, loving, encouraging atmosphere for your students, and for the families, for the parents that have their kids at your district. So yeah, thank you for what you do.
I appreciate it. Thanks a lot, Mike. I appreciate this experience. Thanks for reaching, like I said, reaching out and allowing us to talk. And I'd be willing to reach out and help and talk with anybody that would be interested. So thanks
That'd
a
be
lot.
awesome. Well, definitely, yeah, that's perfect. Thank you for the offer. We'll take you up on that.